And it's a welcome back for me. So, yes, campaign details. Well, a little bit about them. So, last video was the new introduction of the new unit plus best kind of situation and links and units, best friends, etc. Now we have 4 Eza'S in this. No doubt that the Super 13 is going to get his Eza. It was obviously because he's the main antagonist for the entire part, right? So him, and then we have a nice physical Trunks we have, and then these two androids. So the androids are kind of just filler, and I suppose you could say Trunks, he is made for it. I expect this guy to be heavy on the banner, and hell, I expect these two, and I expect this guy as well to be heavy on the banner. Remember, it's not as if they're going to slam you with just all the LR Super Saiyans. Might be one or two, sure. But anyway, so we're going to check out, and we might as well start with the most exciting one, which is Fusion 13. So what do we have? So Target Goku and androids go to a full 170%. Now that's good because Target Goku definitely needs a stronger team. And androids, it's not as if it needs another 170. Well, I suppose you could say it does. There are androids in 200% leads for Android Cell Sagas. For androids, we have STR21, we have physical MVP 17, but this is nice in particular because this unit fits in better with just generic androids, nothing tournament to power related, and nothing Battlefield Diva or Heroes or crossover or anything like that. So it's going to be really good. So let's have a look at what we had prior. Okay, so we had 130%. Allies get two, well, Android allies get two key 30%, guaranteed to hit and transformed. Now we still have 130%, but you get an additional 130% when HP is 30% or more. So basically, you double unless you go into critical mode. Androids or Target Goku now get three key 30%. That up, so you get an extra one key, which is really nice actually. That really does make a difference. But it now also affects Target Goku, which kind of makes sense because he's on both. So that's good. Attacks guaranteed to hit. Yep. Sorry. You get an additional attack that has a 50% chance to become a super when you're against a Goku. Okay, so that's fairly common. So yes, and then transforms when conditions are met. Your super attack, what did you do prior? Greatly lowered defense and a chance to stun. Now you stack defense. You stack defense with a 50% chance to stun, but you will transform on the X amount of turns uh, based on the android allies. So if you don't have, well, I suppose you have him on a Target Goku and you don't have any android allies, yeah, you could just stack and stack, but you might struggle with links. Interesting. He's still a pretty decent support. Three key 30% for androids and Target Goku. Androids, I mean, just as itself as androids could help out because this guy, while he has some relevant links, I'll show you, he has some unrelevant links. We might as well just jump straight into it. And the links in particular are we're talking Red Ribbon Army and like Android Assault. So you will find Big Bad Bosses works well with the cells, Metamorphosis, Fierce Battle works well with the cells. You will probably find Android Assault with the what is it, Hellfighter 17, the new STR one. Sure, he might have Android Assault and Metamorphosis, etc. But the Red Ribbon Army, for the large part, will hold him back. But realistically, you will get him. So yeah, pretty decent, and he's still stacked. So you can build up and up and up, and when you transform, you'll have a higher base to begin with. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So androids, artificial, fuse fighters, transformation boost, target Goku, movie bosses, and power absorption. Okay, so movie bosses gets a nice one, but it's let's see if there's actually anyone in movie bosses. Okay, so movie bosses, Janemba. What are we getting with Janemba? We are getting big bad bosses and metamorphosis, which is a huge chunk of this guy's potential. So that's going to be nice. Yeah, maybe the transform version of himself, of course, but as an android movie boss, yeah, we're going to struggle on that one. But yes, Target Goku. Target Goku, of course, would be really good. Let's see, the new one here. This guy, yeah. So Android Assault they do have. So you will get something nice with it. So finally he gets a far better linking partner rather than just being on something like GT bosses. So androids in particular and target Goku, along with android assault, which is 2 key actually, as well as defense, is actually really good. This guy can still hold up, depending on if you can take hits or not, because you've got to build him up, right? Android assault is good. Could be a good linking partner as well. You're going to get some key in here. And of course, they are both extreme AGL. Right, so let's have a look. You absorb 14 and 15 for when there are 2 or more android allies starting from the 5th turn. So you have him on turn 1, and you keep him on rotation. You can stack. So you can then get 2 stacks in turns 1 and 3, and then at the start of turn 5, you'll transform. So if you go for additionals, which I wouldn't blame you, because you also have a 50% chance to stun, you could quadruple super theoretically. And I suppose you could actually do more, because this could become a super attack. So theoretically, you could triple super. So then if you kept him on, you could do double triple supers, and that then you'd be pretty much set. And so it's curious to know how this guy will perform and how well everyone has this guy, because he's an older unit coming out in 2020. So bizarrely, he's not terribly old, but I've not seen him in my friends list. And people, because he's not as great as integrating them, it's not as if people run him. Anyway, okay, so we are now talking 55% on his EZA. We're talking 11,500 defense and a pretty respectable starter turn attack stat, which is really nice. If you have him at Rainbow, we're talking 15,000 defense, which is actually really good. And damn, that's a lot of attack. You get in the stuff of like Big Bad Bosses and Metamorphosis, that's and Fierce Battle. These are the 3 which will massively sway this. So if you have 55%, and you had your big bad, you had your big bad bosses, you had your Metamorphosis and Fierce Battle, all pretty much near the top, this would maximize on attack and defense. One dupe, of course, is always the most impactful, and you'll go to 13,500, so that's a wicked jump. So yes, if you do have him, great. He's going to be what looks like a potentially solid unit. So transformation units always are pretty mid until they transform. So I'm expecting a few to change. Here we go. So let's have a look. So we now have 3 key, 130% still. This now goes up to 145%. So you're getting 15% more. Interesting. It's interesting how they've done that. You get an additional 13% per target Goku or Android ally on the team. So they're now doing this just so you're not as broken, depending on which category has more members. So they're specifically doing this now. Okay, so it's nice and specific. What did he do prior? He's had this. He doesn't get the additional, and he did actually have this. So that's interesting. And then did perform a crit. So now he still maintains this. It said it's now target Goku and Android, so it's both. And then, of course, you get this, so it's slightly more. The factor in that you've got a few extra super attacks under your belt, yes. This is still nice. It means STR won't slow down, and guaranteed to hit means those pesky ass bosses that does dodge, you're not going to. Especially like Battlefield, where they can dodge, and man, they're annoying. And in some difficult content like the Fight and Legend events, them being able to dodge is really annoying, but guaranteed to hit, you could probably get through a few missions just on him alone. Get an additional attack with a 50% chance to become a super attack. That's nice. Your super attack effect greatly raises attack for the turn. Still has a 50% chance to stun. That itself is nice, which means additional still would be beneficial. So you get an additional attack and a high chance to crit, a 50% chance against a Super Saiyan enemy, and you get a massive amount of attack against those who include Goku. Okay, so it is based around Goku, but a Super Saiyan enemy, you still get a huge amount of attack and crits built in. So that's good, because that means then that additionals would be the way to go. You could argue, you could also put a little bit of dodging. Why not? It would help. It's not as if this guy's a proper tank, and it would help round them out a bit more. But additionals, I wouldn't blame you going all the way. Yes, so Red Ribbon Army, Android Assault, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. We click on Red Ribbon Army, this is it. Right, this is kind of what we have to run with. So Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, yes, potentially you could run them on the Android team. Sure. And then you've got Staff Officer Black, who's a beast. And then, of course, you've got this Dr. Giro and Red Ribbon Soldier, who are due for their easy A's. Of course they are. So this is where I'm saying it's a bit of a but yeah. Okay, so he himself seems pretty decent, and I like him. He gets slightly extra stats. In essence, he sort of like doubles his buff. If you fall below 30% or more or less HP, there is that incel who can heal, right? There is options, or just pop an item. So he seems solid. Nothing mega, which would scream a new version of this guy coming out, like a new LR of this guy coming out. But other than that, he is pretty solid. So he's going to work on androids, artificial fuse fighters. So like target Goku and androids, yes. Artificial life forms, yes, because you can get a few of the androids in there. Fuse fighters, no. Power absorption, no. Movie bosses, well, I mean, you could trigger metamorphosis and big bad bosses, which is the most off his links here, but no. Anyway, his best linking partners, okay, the new 21, sure. These guys are fairly decent. Janembers, because of metamorphosis, yes, these two have a better linking partner. Hell, this guy would have a decent linking partner, right? So fair enough. That Android Assault comes in just a little bit more. This unit's holding them together with that Android Assault, but not much. There's not a lot here that you can utilize on a team because you're going to be forced to use. I mean, you're going to showcase this unit. These two are terrible. 21 can hold her own. She does have big bad bosses, right? So she can hold her own. Oh, Android Assault and Metamorphosis. So, okay, legitimately, she, after her easy A, is potentially solid. She does heal as well, so fair enough. I mean, it's not as if he's a showcase stopper, but he's just made better. He's just well rounded out. Anyway, moving on before we get too long in this video. Trunks, physical Trunks. I'd imagine this is what people will pull a la plenty on the banner. So he was a nuking lead. Interesting. Right, so fair enough. Nothing much to say there. So what did he have prior? 100% additional attack, but minus 50% defense on super attack, of which massively raised attack and basically killed you there. And you did build up crit. Interesting. Okay. Potentially interesting because you massively raise attack. Okay, so you get 150%. Great. An additional 150% attack, but still a negative. Why can't an easy A just remove that? Or why can't an easy A half that? Right? And I know they can do something with it because the super attack effect goes from 5 to 3. Why can't you half that? What's the point in today's age? Why? Why? Right. Additional attack and defense 50% on super attack if you're against a movie hero's ally in the same turn. So that kind of negates. You see how that's pointless because you lose 50% defense, but you gain it back if there's a movie hero's ally in the same turn. Basically, meaning all you got from that on super attack is attack. You got 50% attack and then 100% attack for 3 turns, and you still lose HP. That doesn't make any sense. An additional defense 50% with each super attack performed. See, that's actually bad because while look, you get 150% extra defense with each super attack performed. Yeah, look at that, brilliant. That halves. You lose half of that extra 150%. But it's mental. So chance of performing a crit is 10% with each attack received. Now goes up to 50. So if it's gone up by a few more hits, and you're guaranteed to attack. Oh no, guards all attack against an android or target Goku enemy. Wow, okay. So target Goku is a bit more broad because you got like freezers as well in there. I should really bring up target Goku because that could be good. You got like Brolys are in there, freezers are in there, coolers are in there. So that legitimately could help work out. There could be some good ones in there. Again, massively raise attack. I mean, the guy isn't he's not shy off hitting hard, right? He's going to be bonkers. 150 here, you get 150 here, you get an additional 50% attack, and then you're building up crit as well as 100% for 3 turns. What are we talking like? 14,500 goes up to 17. One dupe takes you to basically 16,000 attack. It's pretty good. Like, the guy's going to be hitting monstrous. Of course, easy A stats coming in. It's pretty bleh. I mean, you got 8,500. Okay, so let's say you had one dupe, so you basically got 10,000, which is not a lot. Basically, it's kind of terrible. But like, the worst thing is these counteract each other, so that's pointless. This seems impressive, but if you do a super attack, right, where so you would lose 50%, which is effectively 75% off that gone. And that doesn't make any sense. Because, like, no matter how much you build up, you're going to lose half of it. Completely half. So it's just pointless, but he's going to hit hard. Oh, okay, fine. So he's a glass cannon. So royal lineage, same warrior race, same lineage, called judgment, messenger from the future, prepare for battle, fierce battle. Okay, so the good thing is between like same lineage, cold judgments, that's 30%, and then you got this 35% in terms of defensive stats coming from this. With Cold Judgment giving you the most. Aim Lineage and Prepare for Battle are pretty common, so you can get an extra 10% out of that, which, again, 10%, you're going to lose 5, but it would help the overall number when it does get halved. And then plenty of attack stats. So, again, the guy he's going to be bonkers for attack stats. Don't be surprised if at 55% the guy is outputting what AGL Gogeta in his Super Saiyan form. Future Saga, Hybrid, Vegeta Family, Bond of Master, Entrusted Will, Time Travelers, Battle of Wits, Earthbred, and Movie Heroes. Pretty good all round. It's a pretty decent team. He's going to work out well with a lot of these people, and it's not going to be too difficult to set him up. The only problem is, would you run him on like Movie Heroes? No, probably not. Bond of Master and Disciple? No. Hybrids? No. Future Saga? No, not really, because it's mainly extreme now. It's pretty bonkers. And that Earthbred Fighters, no. Again, you're just not going to want to run him. Unless he's like monstrously attacking something where he could just decimate foes, where you could slap him in on an Entrusted Will, Vegeta Family Hybrid at the end or something. Anyway, of course, his best linking partner appears to be the Future Saga lead or Superclass lead. So, pretty decent. You're going to get 6 links. That's nice. Pretty much the same amount of teams, so that's nice. Yeah, that's going to be the best one for him. Let's see. This Trunks Super Physical worked well in Battlefield. You are going to get prepared for battle and roll lineage, so you're going to get plenty of key in there, so you're not going to struggle for that big hitter super attack in Battlefield. So that could be good. A few other noticeable Trunks. This guy is somewhat okay, depending on the orbs you get. This guy as well is actually fairly respectable, depending on the orbs you get. He does have Cold Judgment. He does have Roll Lineage, so you can trigger Cold Judgment. You can trigger that pretty nice link. So that's actually really good. With Future Saga, does work well with him. We are able to get quite a few attack links for this guy. Gohan could work as well. That's pretty good. Bond of Master, Hybrids, Future Saga, sure. If you don't have quite a fully fleshed out team with all the units, could legitimately be a decent option. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So it appears we work out with this. Same warrior race, same lineage. Prepare for battle. So you get a little bit of stats in key there. 4 key, 10% of stats. That's nice. That works out for this unit really well. Let's see. Oh, looks like there's a whole bunch of free-to-play units there that you can farm up with. Really nice. So he's good and he's bad. It's sad to see that in the eighth anniversary, so the 9th era that we're in, we're still seeing stuff like this, and we're still seeing stuff like this. In difficult content, this will kill you, but I guess maybe he's just not made for that. But he does seem to be a outrageously fun unit in terms of attack stats. So, you could just, that could be good. Anyway, moving on, we have the AGL and physical androids, respectively, specifically from the Future Saga, the one that Trunks ends up going back and destroying. So, seems pretty decent. So, what do we have prior? Not much. 70% to stats, and you were orb changers depending on what you get. That was it. 150% to stats, very nice. What do we have coming in at 55%? Oof, not great, not great. Not bad fully built up, though. Not bad fully built up. One do put you at a more respectable 10,000, 14,000. So, that's actually not too bad. So 150%. Physical to AGL and int to physical in addition, whilst an additional attack has a 50% chance to become a super attack, 78% or less. Okay, so you have double orb changer. There's not really many of them. But you are in AGL Keysphere, well, physical to AGL, so that's something, although that's bizarre because the perfect partner is this, right? It is, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's just totally weird. Best partner, and you kind of harm the best partner in terms of, yeah, this is stupid. So, yeah, okay, so you're a double orb changer depending on what you get. You can legitimately change back to physical as well if your HP is 70% or less, but honestly, considering that's the best partner, that should just be like if there's just a 17 on the team, because that would make more sense. So an additional 20% attack and defense 30% per AGL Keysphere obtained. Okay, so that alone makes it. What's their super attack effect? So raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. That's actually pretty good as like a floating unit, because you can get the orb changes, and then because then you put her in slot 3, you get her a bunch of AGL orbs, so she's getting a wicked amount of defense, and then she's building it up. That could be good. An additional 20% to stats per Keysphere obtained. That's not including AGL. Okay, right. So you get 20%, but you get to stats, but you get the slightly more if it is on defense, if it is an AGL. So even still, this is really good. She could be a decent floater for various teams. 30% chance to dodge, so you could probably spec dodge just to complement. Key +1, 50% chance, 50% to stats, and chance of evading a super attack, 18% per future saga attacking in the same turn. So it's basically just 36%. So you have a 30% chance to dodge, and you have a 36% chance to dodge. You have 2 chances to dodge. You could put dodge in the hidden potential system. I don't know, something like 10 dodge. Maybe do it with equips. So you got like a 10% plus a 36 plus a 30. And then she's an orb changer, which gives her, well, stats. Which of course she then builds up defense. That's actually surprisingly well done. 3 key 100% for AGL could be good for Battlefield for stages 1 and 2, or even just as a sub-lead. Okay, so organic up. Oh, Christ, I don't know this one. Good God. Really? Really? We're going to give organic upgrade to this. What is it? 2 key attack and defense, chance to crit 5%. God. Okay, so organic upgrade is what we're rocking here. Android Assault is also another one, which is pretty good. You gotta love the ads. Android Assault, which is fairly common now because, as I say, this guy kind of brings it together. So Android Assault and organic upgrade. Twin Terrors, yeah, you can get that often. Battlefield Diva, Dismal Future, Brutal Beatdown. Dismal Future would help basically secure any super attacks because they will all have it. Android Cell Saga, Future, Androids, Peppy Gals, Worldwide Chaos, Sibling Bonds. Okay, so legitimately on any of these, including like Peppy Gals, you could use her as a floater and she could look after herself. I feel like that could be a way. Even at 55%, depending on the amount of orbs you get, the performance will fluctuate, but you could still survive. So pretty good. No doubt that the best partner is, of course, this, which will be coming up next. They share basically the same links and teams. Coming in with Peppy Gals, yes, there are a few free-to-play here ones that I see possibly from the just in general from the 21 event that we just had. So Androids, I see there are some Future Saga Peppy Gals, which is probably the reason why either. MVP 17, interesting. If you run him on Androids and he's on rotation, doesn't he give like 66% defense to all allies just unconditionally and 3 key? So he could be a decent add-on to the team, and he could make them run well. That could be good. Um, 21. Android Assault. Kicking in with Android Assault might just mean Android Assault's come into its own flavour now, which could be pretty good. Okay. So let's go into it then. Let's check out the last one before it gets too long. This is already going to be a 30-minute video. So this guy, 150%, fine. Tech to physical and STR to AGL, 78% or less. So that's basically the exact same, but it's the other. It's the other roles basically, isn't it? So you get this one's slightly different. He's more offensive based. So you get 20% to stats per physical key sphere. Oh no, 20% to stats per anything but physical, but you get slightly extra attack, whereas 18 got the extra defense. High chance to crit rather than immediate. So that's actually pretty scummy because you got a 30% chance to dodge, but a 50% chance to crit here. Interesting. And then of course you get the additional 50% to stats and 17% chance to crit with every future saga in the same turn. So that's pretty good. So then you're coming out with 100%, like 18. Only she has dodge and you have crit. Why is 18 shafted? Okay, so you do raise defense and now stack attack. So he is more offensively based and she is more defensively based. Interesting. Yeah, same things. There's literally no reason to look at. Actually, I suppose, see, like 18 doesn't work well with these Hellfighter 17s, so that's actually something. So he could work out better because these two are a dynamite duo when they're, well, together as a duo, and then there's this one. So he might have slightly better. Oh, hell, did 18 have that actually as a partner? She did. She actually did have that as a partner. Okay, so that's fine. So they are pretty bonkers themselves. And I think they're worldwide chaos, which means there might be a respectable lead for these kind of people as well. So that's pretty good as well. Yeah, so these two are very much similar. They go well hand in hand, although it's curious to know because, like, start of turn, this particular aspect will totally ruin each other. So it's only when they actually take some hits does it actually come into play. But other than that, they're both pretty decent. I like to think Trunks is fun but completely wrong, and then of course you've got this guy who is pretty well built all together all around. But yes, anyway, that's going to be it. So there's going to be tons of content, tons of Easy A. I presume sub Easy A's, right? So don't expect stones. It'll be, of course, 30 for him. He's a standalone Dokkenfest, get their own 30 stones, and these will be sub Easy A's. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, fantastic. If you didn't, well, that sucks to be you. But thank you, and bye bye.